Hello everyone. I'm just going to sit during this because I'm not feeling that well today, so I hope you guys bear with me. But I just want to share my story with you today as well, and mine is actually similar to Sean's, and it came up, this wasn't in my notes, but I want to thank Mrs. Wood, wherever you are. She also lost someone a little bit ago, as you guys probably remember, and the three of us used to have lunch together, and she really helped us through a lot, so I just want to say thank you. I don't know where you are, Today I would like to share my story with you. I have walked these hallways with the majority of you for a couple of years, and I want you to know me on a different level before I graduate and leave only memories behind. I believe that every person can use his or her story to impact someone. When I was born, I was adopted into a Christian family, and my birth mother was 18 when she gave birth to me, and she couldn't afford to raise a child at the state of life she was in. She loved me enough to give me up to a family that she knew would be able to take good care of me. I was blessed with the opportunity to meet her shortly after my 18th birthday, which was one of the biggest highlights of my life. My family consisted of me, my dad, mom, and sister, Rachel. Rachel was adopted from a different birth mother, and she was about 9 years older than me. We never really had a close relationship due to her poor choices in life, and she dropped out of high school her sophomore year and quickly went down a destructive path. She grew up in church just like many of us. For some reason, she chose that certain lifestyle even after being in a healthy home environment. Years went by, and she was out of the house living with a different guy almost every couple of months. 3 years ago, she and her boyfriend found out that she was pregnant, and they decided to keep the baby, and she gave birth to her son Liam on April 30th, 2012. During her pregnancy, her and her boyfriend broke up, and she moved in with us. Baby Liam also lived with us, and it was such a joy to have him around. But unfortunately, Rachel was born with a rare blood disease known as angioedema, and basically she lacked a protein in her blood that caused her to randomly swell up all over her body. If she stubbed her left toe, her right arm would blow up like a balloon. It didn't make sense. When she was pregnant and she had her son, this really took a toll on her body. She was in and out of Health Park Hospital on a weekly basis, and it was bad. She would consistently swell and feel extremely sick, and she was just miserable. On December 4th, 2012, Rachel passed away. She was staying up late like she always did because she couldn't sleep well, and she was in her room online buying Christmas presents for the family. She called my dad from her room telling him that she couldn't breathe, and my dad rushed over and talked her through what she was feeling. She said that she felt pain inside and that she felt like she was short of breath. My dad assured her that she would be okay and told her to relax and close her eyes. And if she passed out, she would feel better and she would wake up and be fine. However, she didn't wake up. I woke up too late at 3 a.m. to the sounds of paramedics working all kinds of machines to revive her. They did everything they would have done if they were in a hospital room, and nothing worked. She was 25 when she passed away. I had the privilege of getting Subway for dinner with her that night before all of this happened, but little did we both know this was the last time we would spend together. I'm telling you all of this today not to bring you down, but to remind you how short our life is. We hear all the time how we should never take any day for granted, but do we really understand that? I think we would all like to believe that we are going to graduate from here, go to college, get married, have some kids who have our grandkids, and die at an old age ready to go to heaven. But this is not necessarily what is going to happen. God has given us this life for such a short period of time in comparison to eternity. We can become so adjusted in thinking that because we are young, we have an endless amount of time to live for God, share His love, and do pleasurable things in our life. But too much is at stake for us to become complacent in this way. And we must remember that there are people out there who have never heard of the love of Christ like we have. It isn't fair to those people for us to just sit back and live how we please. That isn't what we are here for. Let's go out and be true disciples of Jesus and make the most of our days here. Don't you think that's what makes God smile? Don't you think you want to make Him smile? Because I know I do. I challenge you to think about this as you go on with your day. And so with all of that being said, I want to share a few thoughts with you regarding to this topic of dealing with trials in our life. My favorite Bible verse regarding to this topic of trials is James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work in you so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. First of all, there is a purpose for our pain. God does not allow us to go through hard times for no reason at all. He permits us to experience tough times so he can shape us more into who he wants us to be and make us more like Jesus. Michelangelo was interviewed for sculpting the great statue David. He was asked how he created such a masterpiece. He replied that in his mind he had an idea of what David looked like. So he told the man that using the marble, he chipped away everything that he believed did not look like David. This is exactly what God does with us. He uses these trials and hard times to chip away at the things in our life that don't reflect him. The next idea I want to share is that there is a plan for our pain. Like I said earlier, God does not put us through these different situations just because it's something to do. He uses this to mold us into the people he wants us to be. And the last point I would like to share is that there is always a limit to our pain. I think that a lot of times when we go through a hard situation, whether it is big or small, we tend to think that it is never going to end. No matter what the problem is, when we are in the middle of it, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We think that whatever we are going through is never going to end, and thankfully this is not the case. Whatever we go through, good or bad, it is just a season of our life. It may last a long time, but this doesn't change the fact that it is just a season. God puts us through different seasons for different reasons and for different types of growth. We must not settle into a mindset that we are hopeless in hard times. We have our hope not only in Christ, but we even have hope that it is just a season, and God is using it to mold us to be more like him. And I just want to thank you guys for letting me share with you today, and seniors, I love you guys, and I will miss you all next year in the unity that our class had, and my senior year has been great, and a big contribution goes to all of you. And juniors, sophomores, freshmen, 7th and 8th graders, I hope that you continue to have a great high school experience here or wherever you go. I challenge all of you as your senior year is coming that you put your identity in Christ and lead strong for the classes below you. And I'm just going to introduce Paige.